Good morning everyone. Today we are going to see the topic database design. Now let's discuss the database design, which is one of the most important stages in developing a database system. Before creating a database, we need to decide how the data should be organized. A good database design helps us to store the data efficiently, avoids duplication and retrieve the information quickly. There are two main parts of database design: logical design and physical design. In logical design, we decide what table should be created and what attributes each table should contain and how these tables are related. In physical design, we decide how the data will actually be stored on the storage device. So now let's understand the database engine. The database engine is the core component of the database management system. It performs all the operations requested by the users and applications. Instead of being one large program, the database engine is divided into several modules, and each module has a specific responsibility. The first module is the storage manager. It's responsible for storing, retrieving and updating the data on the disk. The second module is the query processor. Whenever a user writes an SQL query, the query processor checks the query, optimizes it and executes it efficiently. The third module is the transaction management component. It ensures that database transactions are completed correctly, even if there is a system failure or multiple users are accessing the database at the same time. For example, when you transfer money using online banking, the transaction management component ensures that the amount is deducted from one account and added to others safely. So these three components work together to make the database reliable, secure and efficient. The next one is storage manager. The storage manager acts as a bridge between the application program and the physical data stored on the disk. Whenever an application requests data, the storage manager retrieves it from the storage device and sends it back to the application. Similarly, when the data needs to be updated, the storage manager performs the update safely. It performs several important functions. The authorization and integrity manager checks whether a user has permission to access or modify the data and ensures that database rules are followed. The transaction manager ensures that all the database transactions are completed successfully without errors. File manager manages the physical files in which the database is stored. The buffer manager improves performance by temporarily storing frequently used data in memory so that it can be accessed quickly instead of reading it repeatedly from the disk. Together, these components help the database work efficiently and provide the faster access to data. So it is responsible for the following tasks: interaction with the OS file manager and efficient storing, retrieving and updating of the data. So storage manager components include authorization and integrity manager, transaction manager and file manager and buffer manager. So here the storage manager implements several data structures as part of the physical system implementation. So the first is data files. These files contain the actual database records such as student details, employee information or banking transaction. Second one is data dictionary. The data dictionary stores metadata, which means information about the database itself. It contains details about tables, columns, data types, constraints and user permissions. The third one is indexes. An index works just like the index at the back of the textbook. Instead of searching every page one by one, we use the index to quickly locate the required topic. Similarly, a database index helps the DBMS locate records much faster without scanning the entire table. For example, if a university database contains information about 1 lakh students, an index allows us to quickly find a particular student's record using the student ID. Therefore, data files store the actual data. The data dictionary stores information about the database structure, and indexes improve the speed of searching and retrieving the data. So these are the several data structures that is implemented by the storage manager. So indices, it can provide faster access to the data items. A database index provides pointers to those data items that holds a particular value. So today we discussed database design, the database engine, storage manager and the internal data structures used by storage manager. So these concept helps us understand how a DBMS stores, manages and retrieves the data efficiently behind the scenes. So in the next class we will continue with the query processor and transaction management components of the database system. Thank you.